It's Valentine's Day. Romance is in the air, and I think it's time to make a mead worthy of Valentine's Day. Hey, this is Man-Made Mead. Today we are making a Valentine's inspired mead. So this is something that you see a lot with Valentine's Day, of course, is candy and chocolates and all that. What I'm making is a black cherry chocolate mead. Now, this is going to be a really interesting one because I'm using a couple different things. I will, of course, put the recipe up here and show you and tell you what I'm using. But I got this from Aldi. This is 100% pure black cherry juice. And it does not have any potassium sorbate or metabisulfite, anything to stabilize it, which is exactly what I need in order to use it as a base. Of course, using some water, and then I am going to be, I have two of these, by the way. I'm going to be using some cocoa nibs. Now, these are just normal, organic, sweet cocoa nibs, and the big thing with these is that I will not be introducing these until the secondary of this. Because they have oils and generally alcohol don't mix, especially in the fermenting process. In the secondary process, it's not as big of a deal. It doesn't have a lot of oil, but has enough that it can be disruptive to the primary fermentation. So what we're doing today is we're going to be mixing together the ingredients that I had listed. And I don't have exact measurements yet. Of course, you saw them on the screen. I have to kind of do a little testing to see how much I need. You're going to need, if you want to make this, stuff to sanitize. This is my distilled water and star sand mixture, which is used for sanitizing. I've got my bucket for fermenting, of course. I've got my ingredients. I have something to stir with, which is exactly what I need. And then hydrometer and a graduated cylinder so that I can measure the gravity. So let's go ahead and do this. This is a really easy mead to make, or going to be really easy. I plan on using both of these in the primary because I really want a good cherry base. So I will also be using the Lalvin EC1118 because it does really well with berries. It also does well with cherry flavors, as I've learned. So I plan on using that. And that one gets me up to 18%, which is quite a bit. No, I'm sorry, D47. That one, no, it does not. It gets me up to 14%. I was backwards. Gets me to 14%. And I don't know exactly what the gravity of this mead will be yet. We have sugar base because of the black cherry juice. We will have honey, of course. This is Mesquite Blossom honey from Dutch Gold. I just got a big pail from them, so I'm using it. And this is roughly about 3 pounds of honey. We won't use it all because we're only making really a gallon of mead. This is a good tester. If it goes well, I plan on making a bigger one. But I figured Valentine's Day, let's make something special. I'm gonna pour this straight in here. I've gone ahead and sanitized, sprayed this through, and it's all good. Gonna pour this black cherry juice in here. Get our solid base going. I don't know how much water I'll need to add. I plan on adding at least a half a gallon to get this up to a little over a gallon of liquid because I'm going to have sediment issues, or sediment in general, which means that I want to have enough to get to a gallon. So I'm going to add about a half gallon of water here, maybe a little less depending on. This is a 2.5 gallon 2 gallon fermenter. We're gonna add, stop right there. That's good, half a gallon of water. Next, we're gonna add some honey in. So I need my scale because I want to get an exact measurement of how much I've added. This thing currently weighs right here. It weighs not in ounces, not in milliliters, in pounds. 2.125. Is that what I want? Yeah. About 2.25 pounds. So I'm going to go ahead and say, let's add, I'm going to say I'm going to need at least a pound for this. So we're going to go ahead and pour some, and then we will test and see if I get a pound. I'll stop them right there. I don't think that's a pound yet, but let's see. we're at not quite a pound, 0.8. Okay. And now, I'm spilling honey everywhere. 1.2. We have reached exactly a pound of honey. So, well, it's about 1.1 pounds. So just a little bit over, but that's what you get with this accuracy right here. So now we are going to go ahead and mix it all together. And the big thing with this is, sorry, I need something to wipe my hands with. The big thing is I want to make sure and sanitize. So I'm going to spray off this. This is a little stirring wand, great for mixing. I have of course, a drill. Makes the process easier. If you were curious, you can get all these things down in my store, link below. This is manmademead.com. Go look at the Amazon links so you can find all this stuff. I'm just going to stir this all up, and then we're going to take a gravity reading. All right, so we've gone ahead and mixed it all up. I have here, this is my, my tester. Now the only problem is I've got a lot of bubbling action, so I'm going to wait for the bubbling to go down. And while I'm waiting for that, let me tell you, these cocoa nibs, I've used them before. Fantastic stuff. Navita's Organics. I got them from Natural Grocers, and I have previously made a similar mead to this. I made a chocolate and vanilla bochet, what I call the OK bochet. It's really good, and I like using them in it. I don't know how much of these I'll have to use, so there might be a mystery question mark behind that. Last time I did it, I only needed maybe, how many, I don't know how many grams this is exactly. This is about 4 ounces of it. I probably needed, for a gallon, 2-gallon batch, I needed 4 ounces. So I probably only need like 2 ounces of these cocoa nibs. So there's that. We will find out exactly how much we're going to use. Today I'm not going to be finishing this mead because I'm just starting it and I wanted to get this video out. So, all right, so our gravity reading shows what we are currently at. Ooh, this might be perfect. 1.085. So that is, if I'm not mistaken, about 10%. 1.085. Oh, a little over 10%. About 11%. Now that's rough, of course. There's better ways to do this. That's my rough. It's probably somewhere in that 10 to 11% range. Still a good level. The EC1118 we're going to add right now goes up to 14%. So it will definitely ferment through all the sugars here, and I'm okay with that. I don't mind this being a heavier mead. Hopefully it's smooth. That's the goal, is for it to still be smooth. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and pour that back in there. We've got, you can kind of see, you can't really see on the video, but this is up to about here. So we are looking at roughly, this is 2-gallon bucket, maybe a gallon and a quarter so far of liquid. Now we're going to go ahead and add our yeast. All right, we're going to dry pitch this yeast, which means we're not going to rehydrate. Again, some people are way against this. I think it's okay to dry pitch it. It might take a little bit longer to get started. However, it doesn't really matter all that much. Also, I didn't really need 5 grams of this for this mead to work. I could probably got away with 2.5 grams. However, I have a bunch of packets of these, and this just really helps ensure that the yeast are going to start fermenting and thriving on the sugars. So now I also have some yeast nutrients. So this is what we have here, yeast nutrient. There are a couple ways you can do this. If you want to go ahead and put all your yeast nutrient and your yeast energizer in the primary, the beginning, then really the only thing that happens is that yeast just eat it all up in the beginning. However, there's another way to do it called staggered fermentation, or staggered nutrient addition, I should say. And that is where you add this over time. I'm just going to add it in all at once. So I need 1 teaspoon. This is a half teaspoon. Here's my other one for this gallon. Then I also have yeast energizer. It's the same thing. It's also another way to feed the yeast, and so they can thrive. We're going to go ahead and add. This one is also, this is 1 to 1.5 teaspoons. So we're going to add everything we need here. Boom. We got all that so far. Now we're going to take our stirring and we're going to stir it up just a little bit. And This has been aerated slightly because of the drill and all that action, which helps to give the yeast a little oxygen to thrive on. So, the next step, super simple. We're gonna go ahead and take, and I gotta clear off this lid, but we're gonna put the lid on, and then I gotta let it set. And it's gonna ferment. I'm sure it'll be just fine. I've never had any problems with EC1118 before. It's always been really good. So, let's go ahead and put the lid back on. All right, here we go. Lid. Super simple. I used it for just setting stuff on just then. Airlock, which has its water in it, has its liquid, and seal it off. Now what I always do is I use a temporary label because I can wash it off. That's just to label my stuff rather than write with Sharpie, so I'll put a temporary label on here in a second. But I want to say thank you for watching this. I'm excited for a Valentine's mead. I've always wanted to make one before, and so now I had the chance. I'll be curious to see how this turns out. I've never used this black cherry juice before, but again, if you want to know the recipe, it's up there. And highly encourage you to try it. You might like using it. This might turn out terrible. I don't know. My hope is that you are getting to learn from hopefully my mistakes and also my successes. And I enjoy that. So thank you for watching. If you want to follow me for more content, especially the part 2 of this video, make sure you hit subscribe. You can also hit that bell to be notified when I upload. Then there's a bunch of links down below. Huge thing. Facebook is about to hit 1,000 members on the Facebook page at Man-Made Meadery. So we're about to have 1,000 people. Super awesome. I can't wait for that. There's also almost 300 people in the Man-Made Mead Makers, which is where we talk even more about mead making. If you want to be involved in that, go check it out. Facebook.com/Man-Made Mead Makers. It's a group. You can check it out. Then there's, of course, the Patreon. If you want to support me, you see right here, this is the Wall of Fame. I've got some friends right here, I don't know if you can see it or not, that are on there because they've supported me on Patreon. If you want to be on my Wall of Fame, you want to see my videos early, you want to see special content, go check it out. Other than that, there's some other links. I just appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this. Again, what a crazy ride this has been, and I'm excited to continue on with you guys. So, hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful Valentine's Day if you're watching it then, or now I should say. And, with that, cheers.